Day 2 of the NBA draft is set for this afternoon at 4 o'clock Central, 3 Eastern time. I said that backwards, 4 Eastern, 3 Central time. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here. We're going to take a look at some Mavericks draft targets for Day 2. They have the 58th overall pick.
The last pick.
Probably wouldn't move up, but you never know. We'll take a look at Rolly's big board, top available players, and then we'll key in on 5 guys specifically. But we want to hear from you. Name someone that the Mavs should draft. Drop his name down in the comments. Yes, you can say Bronny if you want, if that is who you want to get. I doubt he gets past the Lakers at 55, but you never know. All right, you look at Rolly's big board here, Coop. A few surprises to get out of the first round. Kyle Filipowski. I thought Tyler Kolek would have gone last night. Got Johnny Furphy and Tyler Smith in there as well. Kevin McCullough out of Kansas, an experienced player. Nikola Djurisic, I think is his name. Djurisic.
The Serbian Paul George.
Yeah, that's right. They call him the Serbian Paul George. PJ Hall, a player we mentioned. Could he slip a little bit potentially? Jamal Shead, I wouldn't mind him if he got to 58. KJ Simpson, Jonathan Mogbo. Get further along, we talked about Tristan Newton, Jalen Bridges, Trenton Flowers.
And I'll give you a hint right now. Guys on our list are guys on this list.
Oh, okay. I like that. So there you go. Those are Rolly's top 16 available?
Yep.
We'll take a look at 5 players. The one guy not on Rolly's best 16 available is, look, as long as he's still out there, he has to be included.
This might be the last time we'll be able to talk about this. And I will continue to say, if he is there at 58, he is the pick.
I think so, too.
It's Bronny James. The Mavericks are going to try to get Bronny James if he's there at 58 because it means that they could have an established line of communication with LeBron. And I think that would be their dream scenario this offseason is to get LeBron here in Dallas. So I do think this is in play. Is he the best player available? Probably not. I do think he would be at the top of the Mavericks board, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, it seems very unlikely for a lot of reasons. 1, the Lakers pick at 55, so if he's still there, you would think they would take him there. 2, the Lakers hired J.J. Redick, LeBron's buddy, from his podcast. 3, Lakers just got a win-now piece last night in Dalton Connect. Like, it would be pretty surprising at this point if LeBron kind of exited L.A.
I agree.
But as long as Bronny is still available, he's going to be included here.
This may be the last time.
What I want to know is if some team will take him before 55, even if Rich Paul is saying don't.
And then just make him trade. Yeah. Give us something. I don't hate that idea. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Like, if you're like the Raptors, just some random team, why not?
If you're the Knicks at pick 38, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, especially considering
they don't want to draft anybody.
They don't want rotation players. Yeah. So, that's fascinating to think about. Harrison Ingram, the forward out of North Carolina. Great name, no question about it. You've got him here. We haven't talked about him yet in the pre-draft process. I think he was like 38 on Rolly's big board or something like that.
He's a really intriguing prospect. He spent 3 years at Stanford before transferring over to North Carolina out of St. Mark's in Dallas, so he's a local product as well. He's like a forward. He's a 3-4 kind of type guy who's more of a slasher. He reminds me, I guess, a little bit of Harrison Barnes. Obviously not as skilled as Barnes was coming out of North Carolina, but that kind of guy. He has some size. He's 6'8". He kind of provides a little bit of defense on that wing spot. Intriguing prospect if he's to fall all the way there.
Jamal Shead, who I thought might go back to college and take some NIL money, did not use the COVID year. You know, he's not the most skilled guy, but he's tough as hell. He's a winning player. Trying to think of this is gonna be just a lazy comp. I mean, is his best case scenario like a JJ Barea, just an undersized, crafty guard? I mean, that's kind of his game, if we're being honest.
I think Jamal Shead has a future in the NBA, especially given his mentality and his just wherewithal to go out there and play anybody. He is not afraid of the moment. We saw that at Houston. Some concern about the injury, right? I mean,
yeah, the injury's a little concerning. He's not that explosive, so you're not getting you're drafting him for intangibles.
Exactly.
That's what you're drafting him for.
And I don't hate drafting intangibles here at this position at all. So he's definitely someone to keep an eye on. I'm always in favor of drafting guys who can handle the ball as well. So I don't hate.
We talked about this the other day, Coop. You're not going to get complete prospects at this point. You're going to get a guy who either is crazy athletic but pretty raw, or you're going to get a guy who can really shoot but can't do much else, or you're going to get a guy who's pretty good defensively, doesn't give you much offensively. You're going to get a guy like Jamal Shead, experienced college player, a little older, but not the most efficient, not the most explosive. So it's kind of what you're looking for at this point in the draft to try and check that box, because you're not going to get some complete player who's going to be an all-star right away. It's just not realistic. All right, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 29,000 subs ASAP. We'd love to get there by the start of free agency. 350 away. Can we do it? Help us out. It's free. Hit that sub button. Nikola Djurisic, another Nikola out of Serbia. This is another one of Rolly's favorites here.
Yeah, the Serbian Paul George, as he's called in the Chat Sports office. He's pretty smooth. He can kind of do a little bit of everything playing over there in Serbia. I don't know how much he has to be an NBA player right away. I think there's a reason that he slipped out of the first round, and he might be a guy that goes mid-second round and could slip late just because no one really knows much about him other than that he has a really smooth game. He's young as well. He can play the 1. He can play the 2. There's some versatility there. The Mavs have always liked taking international players in this kind of spot and maybe risk. Could be a draft and stash. He could stay over there for a year or two. So there's kind of an unknown there with him. So we'll see what happens. But I think keeping an eye on him is worth it at least.
Yeah, with him falling around 2, I wonder if he plays another year in Europe. We'll have to wait and see. All right, Keshad Johnson, the forward out of Arizona. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Johnson's a guy kind of like Ingram where he's pretty versatile. He can play either the 3 or the 4. Has a decent outside shot as well. He reminds me of just your typical G League guy who's going to come in and try to light it up in the G League, but once he gets to the NBA, he's going to struggle a lot. I think he's like AJ Lawson a little bit almost in that, where he's more of like a quadruple A player, so to speak. So there's some work to be done with Keshad Johnson in becoming an NBA player, but he's a project, and basically so are all of these guys.
And again, guys, like it's the last pick of the second round in a kind of weak draft.
Yep.
Like you're not. I bet there's 28 second-round picks tonight. 3 to 5 of these guys might be in a rotation this year. Like it's you might get lucky, but you will if they are, you got lucky. Like that's just.
So we went through 5 draft targets here. Now we have to ask you this question before we depart: will the Mavs even make a pick? Why for yes and for no? If I had to say right now, I would say it's less than 50% that they even make a pick.
Yeah, I mean, like what happens with Tim Hardaway tonight? Maybe they ship him and 58 out just to clear out his salary. I would expect the Hardaway chatter to increase over the next few hours. Yeah, I mean, I think 50-50 or a little less is probably right on the mark. I mean, sometimes teams just buy picks.
Yeah.
Like some team might just like a player at 58 and the Mavs are like, yeah, sure, here, you can have it.
And at 58, you're basically taking a UDFA.
Yeah, and you're still going to have the UDFA market anyway. So we'll see what happens, but we'll follow it all, and regardless of what they do, we'll recap it here at the end of the night. If they don't make a pick, we'll talk about what they traded or whatever. If they sign UDFAs right after, we'll have that covered as well. So be sure to subscribe and monitor us here on the channel. We'll also have round 2 action on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. I think I'll be over there again with Rolly, so come check us out, youtube.com/chatsportstv. He's Jeffrey Cooperstein. I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys later on.